Hey there, everyone. It's Kurt. I hope your week is off to a great start. Here in South Carolina, it is Monday morning, and I'm looking forward to a wonderful week. In yesterday's video, I talked about opportunity costs. Today, I'd like to talk about a different type of cost, and that is sunk costs. Another way to put it is throwing good money after bad. So in a non-business context, have you ever gone into a movie? You know, you pay for your ticket and you sit down in the movie, and maybe 20 minutes into it, you realize, man, this movie kind of sucks, right? But you go half hour, 45 minutes, an hour, and you're like, this is an unbearable movie. But you don't leave, right? Because you've already invested money in the ticket, you've invested time to go to the movie, you had in your head that you really hoped it was a good movie. So you sit through 2 hours, 3 hours of a really bad movie because you already sunk costs into it, right? When in reality, maybe you should have just gotten up, left, gone to dinner, and salvaged your night. That's an example of sunk costs. In business, I've had clients who invested in a new project or a new app, and they had a good plan for it, right? But after a month or two, and after they've invested some money in it, it was pretty clear it just wasn't going to work. Sometimes the best laid plans just don't hit, right? But because they were fearful of telling their manager or their boss that they had failed at something, and because they had invested some money in it, because they had invested their ego in it and time and resources, they didn't want to pull out. So they kept putting money into it, putting money into it, putting money into it, even after it was clear that no matter how much money you put into it, it was going to fail. Those are sunk costs. One thing I've learned in business, because believe me, I've sunk costs into things well beyond when I should have pulled out of them, is failing quickly, right? If you have an idea, you have a vision, you put together a good plan of attack, and you execute, and that plan just isn't working, isn't coming to fruition, all right, pull out, move on. You learned a lesson, right? Tweak it, pivot, move on. There's nothing wrong with that. And in the end, you're going to be more successful. You're going to save money, right? Because you're not throwing good money after bad. And you learn new things, right? Thomas Edison, certainly had several hundred cracks at getting the light bulb to work, and he learned every time that he failed. The key is failing quickly and not sinking costs into something when it's clear it just is not going to work. So I love your stories. Are there any examples of where you didn't really get out of something quick enough and you kept putting sinking costs into something well after its expiration date? Or do you have any stories where you failed quickly and you moved on, you learned from it, and went on to bigger and better things? I'd love to hear it. As always, thanks for watching my video. Thanks for liking, for sharing, and thanks for your content because it inspires me every single day. Have a great week. Thanks.